2020 has been a very interesting year for the whole world, but I would say particularly for the United States. It's been an emotionally taxing and tragic year so far, and yet it seems like the country at large is trying to ignore the trauma that's happened and keep things moving. It's as if we've experienced a life-threatening car accident, but we're late for work and we show up at our desk shaking with tears in our eyes and act like everything is okay, when the reality is, everything is not okay. Whether you're on one of the two extremes regarding this pandemic, it's very real or it's a hoax, as a country, we would be remiss to rush back to normalcy and not address the trauma that's been experienced. It seems like we're trying to turn COVID into a fun anecdote. OMG, do you remember when everything was shut down in the whole world and we had to wear masks because some people were sick? That was so crazy, lol. I ordered so much stuff from Amazon. We're already trying to make it a moment to reminisce about, even though it is still happening. This country and culture is still being impacted by it, internally and externally. So much has recently happened in this country that has left indelible marks for folks to still process. A pandemic, a huge shift in social justice issues, an economic crisis, and for those that care, no sports. During this year, we've also experienced the death of celebrity and political icons. On top of that, mix in your scandals and corruption stories shared in the form of binge-watching documentaries. And for the icing on the cake, almost 24 hours of non-stop political rhetoric that stirs up fear, anger, and disgust. But there was so much effort to try and get things back to normal as soon as possible. We want to keep America great so bad that we can't admit we've experienced a car accident and we aren't okay. It's like that scene in Whiplash when the drummer showed up after the car accident, bloodied and battered, and still tried to play. You're done. We're being forced to take the first half of this year and treat it like Y2K rather than 9/11. When Y2K happened, it was a worldwide scare. The anticipation for the end of the world was so high, people were doing whatever they could to prepare for the apocalypse. Buying generators, selling things, stocking up on supplies, you name it. And for many, as 11:59 p.m. rolled around on December 31st, 1999, we sat on the edge of our seats. We prayed, we held family, and some folks partied into what was certainly the end. Then, it was January 1st. Then, it was January 2nd. By January 3rd, we were all laughing and joking about how crazy we were to be scared of Y2K. Then, you have the unexpected world-shaking events of 9/11. I don't even think I need to explain the impact of that moment. We still can feel the reverberation from that time to this day. Our whole world changed and never went back to normal after that day. Never. And it's encouraged to never forget the traumatic experience that happened to the greatest country in the world. Never forget. And to some extent, I'm sure that moment is still triggering for folks. It took years to process, to try and heal, to try and move forward after that tragedy. And rightfully so. It was fear-inducing. It stirred a whole lot of anger, and it changed our culture as a whole. And the powers that be took the time to let the country heal from a one-day catastrophic experience. And yet, 6 months of this country flipping upside down, and we want to treat it like a computer error. America is messed up and needs help. America needs counseling. It needs time to heal. We took time to mourn and grieve for one tragedy. Why not take time for another? I understand why, though. Because we all don't agree that this year hasn't been terrible. We all don't agree that this was a fatal car accident we're trying to climb out of, because we can't see literal smoke and glass, even though there has been literal smoke and broken glass. I get it. It's like any dysfunctional family. Our internal crap doesn't need to be addressed. That's just the way it is. Don't tell anybody what's going on and keep it moving. Put on makeup to hide the abuse and scars. Keep quiet and tell lies so folks don't know what happens at home. But as soon as someone comes from the outside to hurt us, then we're one. Then we never forget. Then we do everything in our power to show how healthy and great we are, even though we never fix the dysfunction. Now all the things being hidden with makeup and lies are starting to slowly bleed through. The entire world is witnessing the dysfunction of this country. This country needs counseling. If it doesn't take the sick days it needs, like it has before, then I don't see any way for it to get better. We better hope God still blesses America.